Yeah, I want to own all these Flatleys because
They're
they look
great
sexy
graphics,
and they've got
aren't
little pink bits and
agree.
knobs and stuff.
I agree.
But don't say Shigeharu too loud because that might sound like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Oh, hey!
Fancy seeing you here.
Absolutely. What are you doing here, Mr. Rob?
Well, you know, I just figured I'd come and hang out with my friends and buy lots of gear, pretend to buy gear.
Absolutely. Well, what would you like us to do, Mr. Cameraman? Oh, the wheel of fortune.
Wait, it's not an iPhone. How do we use this piece of technology? Right, you go first.
It's Wheel of Fortune time. We are spinning the wheel. I'll go first. And this is to actually buy an entire rig.
Right.
So not just a guitar. Please, please, please give me some... Oh, knickers.
Yes.
Okay, 500 to 1,000. You know what, though? I think that's indicative of most customers, right? Gigging rig between 500 and 1,000 pounds, I think that's fine. So today I am every man.
Captain Positive. All right, let me spin this wheel.
Which one, purple or blue?
Oh, 1.5 to 2K. Depending on the choices, it might be better or worse.
I already know roughly what I'm buying. Do you know what? When you have less, sometimes your decisions are made simpler, right?
That's true.
That's a very
Sometimes
Zen
less
Buddhist
is more.
thing to say. I know nothing about Buddhists, so maybe it isn't. But
All right.
Right.
Well, you better go first, mate.
Okay, coming with me? Okay, this way. So, I'm not, shock horror, going katana. Many of you would have thought I might. Recently, the amplifier that I rather like in that kind of katana-y kind of dough is the Laney Foundry series. 50 watt, I think, combo, 1x12 combo. Great overdrive sounds. It's got a little bit of reverb and it's got some chorus or tremolo in it. As we were walking around the store before pressing the spin button, thought, if I end up having to go with a more affordable rig, that'll be the amp that I use. Comes in this beautiful blue colour or this funky green colour. So guitar-wise though, that leaves me £650 left. Do I need a pedal? Might get a delay pedal or something like that. £650 to spend. I'd like to find an HSS Strat. It's a sort of good versatile guitar. I've got in my mind that Sire do a good guitar. The S7 might be a bit tricky at the moment because there's like a Model 2, version 2 of the Sire stuff, which hasn't arrived at Andertons yet. It's not hugely different to Model 1, and I'm hoping we've got 1 or 2 Model 1s left that I will be able to afford. Sire, here are some Sires. Could jazz master it, but no, there it is. That is an S7, and that, I believe, is 500 quid, which will be perfect. So I'll go and get the tremolo arm for that. Looking forward to doing the version 2 video of these to show you. You can go and look at our NAMM coverage from January where you can get like a taster of what's coming, but the main shipment, I think, is due anytime now, but that'll do for now. And now I've just got some money left to spend on pedals. £150 to spend on pedals. Now, again, the amp's got good drive, but it's always good to have a little bit of a boost in front of that, isn't it? Let's get a couple. Let's go affordable. We'll grab a tape machine for some echo. In fact, yeah, let's mix it up a bit. Let's have a Tone City tape machine, a Behringer Centaur. Then I've got a little bit of change to get some food before we do the gig.
Well, whatever Lee did, I'm about to absolutely decimate his choices because I have no idea what I'm going to buy. But let's have a little mulch around, shall we? Giant Mesa Boogie amplifiers. This is probably affordable. It's almost my entire budget. It looks good though, Lone Star. I saw Lee coming down here and caressing a few things. But what I was really surprised was that he didn't want to stop and look at these sparkly, very demure, very laid back Fender products. Because I think this would suit Captain. What do you think? An American Performer Mustang. I do love me some Stang, but the problem is it's 1,250 Imperial credits of the realm. But look, smell it. Can you smell that? Oh my God, such a beautiful looking thing. Leo knew what he was doing, didn't he? Probably what I should do is support my Famalama Ding Dong and get a Chapman, but then the comment section is going to go, well, you can't choose a Chapman because you are Chapman, so I agree with you. And instead of getting a Chapman, go for the brand that I was endorsed by before I owned Chapman guitar, which is PRS. There are some absolute stunning bargains here in the SE range. You know I'm a sucker for everything that Paul does. I think he's a really good guy. He really knows his stuff, and I'm loving the variety of satin finishes and holes and glossy bits. This is a bit Zebrano-esque. I'm liking that. The job to make this top is quite a lot. You've got to sand it and apply stuff and sand it again. And it's a lot of work goes into making guitars like this. But there is one in particular that has just caught my eye, and I'm praying to the financial gods. It is 1,099 Imperial Credits of the Realm. Look at this thing. Is that not the top? It's the top, isn't it? It is the top of dreams. It also looks like a soup I once made. I love this. And I think for £1,000, this McCarty 594 looks like it might just do the job. Let's find an amp and also some pedals. Wait, I've got 2K. Yeah. I've got 2K. What I really want is something Marshall-y, but kind of vintage. I want to go for that plexi kind of vintage vibe, and something I've got in mind, because Marshall have these amazing mini amplifiers, is the small head that is the Studio Plexi. But it doesn't look as if they have it here on the display. Would it be okay to get one to the room?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Can we get a price on that?
Just over 700.
Just over 700, you say? So let's say it's 1,800. So I've got 200 quid. I'm gonna need a reverb, because I can't play without a reverb, and a drive. Here's a quick one. We're gonna go Verb Core, because I believe that's roughly 60 Imperial Credits of the Realm, something like that. Ooh, Queen of Tone. How much is a Queen of Tone? Can I afford a Queen of Tone?
90 quid.
We're in. We're done. Thank you very much.
Tell me what you did at the end.
Well, it was the old classic, you know, that one there.
A C.
Well, but it's got this.
Oh, you got an F.
bass.
Sorry, you mean an F.
Yeah, and then you go to a big boy.
I see.
Yeah, because when I was jamming with Pete, I did. And Pete went, "Oh, what if you did that instead?" And I went, "I'll steal that. Pretend it's my
the
idea."
big open.
Yeah.
That's a night. Anyway, welcome back to Andertons TV again. Chappers is here, Monsieur Chappers.
Thank you.
Remind me again, how much did you have to spend on your rig?
Ooh. Well, I got incredibly lucky. So this here, McCarty PRS. Wow, I'm really Wiltshire right now because I've been with my parents for a week. This McCarty PRS SE594 is £1,099.
Ooh.
It's incredible, huh? Look at it.
It's got all the good stuff off the American one, hasn't it? That
Yeah.
bridge and tailpiece looks very similar with the sort of the hybrid brass and...
I'm presuming they're actually brass and not just coloured that colour.
I'm guessing so, yeah.
It's really got a lovely neck.
What do you think of what's your opinione on satin versus gloss? Do you have a preference, or is it just one's one and one's the other? Because I saw your video the other day about scientifically putting to bed all those conversations around, does wood make a difference?
With the scientists of CERN. I prefer the feel through my hand of an au naturel top. I like it. But then, having said that, if this had a gloss top, it would definitely pop a little bit more, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I am very surprised at how nice it feels, and then just that tiny, tiny smidge disappointed at the 4 inches of plastic that they had coming out the back here. They could have just put it in, Always just put it in.
It's strange that, isn't it? You think all the wonders of modern CNC technology, it would have taken somebody just like 3 seconds to just program it differently. It wouldn't have cost them more, and then the plastic would have recessed in.
It's like...
Although, in fairness, I can't claim any better on here. I have equally non-recessed plastic.
Well, I was saying this is like Joe Satch at the front, at the back. I've got this Marshall Plexi. I almost bought one, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't. I probably should get one. That got Lee excited. You see that? The concept of possibly making money. I love these little studio Marshalls. I think they're really cute.
Successful for Marshall since they brought those out.
They are loud. A lot louder than I remember. We've dimed it, and I've dialed it in. And check out this beauteous little clean tone.
I tell you what impresses me, every time I hear these through the 1x12, I have this mental scarring from being a sort of 18-year-old guitar player that owned a Marshall 1x12 JCM 900 combo. And the speaker had no bass end on it. It was the proper Marshall speaker. It had no bass end, and the sound went out like a lightsaber, kind of directionally.
Well, you know what they did with those? They saved all that bass end in a little jar just until about 2024, 23, and then they put it in these.
Yeah, I don't understand how, because it's much the same size cabinet as my old Marshall, but that is probably the best 1x12 sounding.
I think it's better baffling. It's directing it.
I agree.
It's spreading it around. Is it open? It's not open, is
No,
it?
closed back.
No, it's open.
Is it?
Yeah, it sounded like it was open to me.
Well, in that case, then, I take it all back. That is exactly why I think it works in a way that maybe mine didn't, because I'm pretty sure mine was a closed back combo.
Quick poll, do you prefer open back or closed back?
I would have, up until very recently, because of Victory hat on for a minute. Victory had been working on some new design cabinets to try and make them lighter and smaller and blah. And I would have said up until that point, the best way to do that kind of smaller cabinet is open back.
Yeah.
But we had a load of samples, all different speakers, and open back and closed back versions of everything. And in the blindfold test, the one with the most bass end that sounded best was the closed back one.
So there you go. It's better when Baby got back.
So that was a long way of me saying I think it very much depends, as guitars and all musical instruments does. There isn't one thing that's always better.
Yeah.
Everything is like in context.
Yeah, I prefer open back cabs, but I'm like you. I think probably that's a psychological thing. The cool thing about the Plexi is obviously it's got the. If I turn off this here NuX Verb Core to give it some.
So of course on the Plexi, there is no sense of like a preamp gain and master volume. It's just 2 volume controls, one for the normal channel, one for the high channel. And obviously, you've got them incredibly low, so it's kind of as clean as it can probably go.
Yeah.
Are we in its low output mode as well?
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, I was just like, we're in the house of Maison de Tone.
Yeah.
We don't want to kill Taylor behind the camera.
So the only way you're really getting creamy gain levels at this volume is with a pedal, right?
Yeah, I've got a Queen of Tone, so I'll put the Verb back on because I can't play without it. I'm crippled,
It's a very appropriate pedal choice for you, because I often hear you called the Queen of Tone. So. That sounds great.
It does sound
It
good.
just sounds great already.
Yeah, that would do, you know. And if you just push it, if you just want to play a bit of grunt, just turn it up. That's it. Just turn it up. But anyway, Queen of Tone, you've got two sides. Side one. But you can stack them, parallel series, whatever you want.
That's not loud. I was just checking to see how loud
it could be loud though if you want it to be.
But I think the reason these are so popular is because they do sound good at relatively modest volume levels.
That was all neck pickup. Just a real quick touch of the. What have you got?
I'm just going to stay on your rig for a moment. So again, McCarthy 594 or Les Paul? It's one of those.
I'm a PRS over Les Paul guy.
Yeah, so you go 594.
Personally, I think Paul improved that kind of a thing.
There you go. You heard it here first. No, that's a great choice. So that whole rig, I kind of don't believe that you can buy that whole rig for. I realise what you've done here. You've assumed the cab is free, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at this going, you can't do this for under £2,000.
I have a cab at home.
Okay, fine.
Everyone's got a cab at home.
Under £2,000.
So, but look, this was really.
These are about 800, aren't they? Something like that.
Actually, it was 799, I believe. Yeah.
So okay,
give me that euro.
And
then this was 1,099, and then the new X pedals are affordable.
Yes,
that's it. I didn't pay for the picks or the cables either, you know.
So I have gone with I would say on most, I think there's loads and loads of amazing small guitar amplifiers now, and Katana 100% has still got features.
Oh, it's a Laney.
Yeah, so Katana's still got features that this doesn't do. This is simpler than a Katana, but I am into. I think that is one of the best, if not maybe even the best, sort of affordable, solid state sounding. There's not a valve in sight in this thing.
Yeah.
And it's got the fullness and the sponginess of a valve amplifier.
Yeah.
And it's 350 quid, you know.
Man. I'm going to have to be honest and say I did think it was a valve amp when I sat down playing with you.
Yeah, I think the true test of a solid state amplifier is to jam with someone who's playing through a valve amplifier and just go, are you even in the room?
But you know, also psychologically, just as a side glance, looking at that grill cloth and the way it looks, it just screams valve amp.
I probably wouldn't buy this colour. The dark blue one I prefer the colour of, but that's your choice.
Come on, man. When you've thrown that in and out of the back of a Volvo a few times,
this is true.
It's going to look great.
So I'm actually on the gain channel with the boost engaged, but with the gain very low. So like. And then what I was using over the top of that, and let's have a look. EQ, bass and treble are flat, mid-range is pushed a little bit, the reverb is built into this, and I wasn't using any of the chorus effects or anything in here. Then I had I keep calling this a Klon, which I shouldn't do. Then I had a Behringer Centaur, which is a copy of the Klon Centaur. The gain just past halfway and the output about a quarter of the way up. So again, low gain, bluesy, you know. It'll do a bit with the humbucker, but it's not crazy. And then I just had a delay pedal, I think, on all the time. So.
You know, I think the secret to your tone, though, is definitely, we're going to have to get a close-up on this, the socks. It's the tone socks. What Lee's got here is an absolute masterpiece study in tonal sockage.
I got my Rolling Stones socks on, especially for you, because I knew we were shooting guitar videos today. They're my lucky socks. The guitar is from Sire. Their electric guitars now, for the last 3 or 4 years, have been done in collaboration with Larry Carlton. So the Sire logo takes a bit of a back seat, and then you get Larry's signature on here. This is called the S7, so this is their not quite top of the range. So there's a 3, a 5, a 7, and a 10 in the range. So, you know, it's above the middle one. These are $499 for the old. This is the Mark 1 S7. Mark II S7 is arriving fairly soon. I'm not sure when this video is going to go out, but check our website. The Mark II versions, I think, are about £100 more. I would have absolutely picked a Mark II for this video and then just sacrificed a pedal or something like that. I don't know that there's a better built Strat for the money, or Strat copy for the money. The features I love on this are the roasted maple neck, with the gloss fingerboard, so that's very much like a sort of a great Fender kind of, you know.
Is it super rolled?
Yeah, super rolled edges, lock-in tuners, a nice sort of contoured heel joint, nice weight to it, good quality trem system. They make their own pickups on the. Now I've got a Sire S7 that I've had for ages, and I did find the pickups a little bright for my taste. Be interesting when the Mark II comes out to see whether or not they've sort of taken some of the treble out of those pickups. So I've put some Monty's pickups in my S7, and I would sort of say as a modder's guitar, if you did, I think you could very, very quickly, you know, swap this out for a Wilkinson trem or a Vega trem, swap these out for your favourite whatevers, and still end up with a guitar that you've spent less than probably £700 or £800
staggered tuners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
So you, again, what Rob spotted there is instead, I don't need a string tree on here because the height of my top E string tuner is actually lower than my bottom E string
That makes
tuner.
such
So
a big difference.
So it's naturally, yeah. So you haven't got like an extra sort of part trying to push the strings over the nut. It's just a lovely guitar to play.
Well, I'm sure Larry will be happy. I'll tell him when I spend a week with him in Scotland.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, Larry's a great player. I think in the Sire range, the guitars that I guess most people will associate with Larry will be their 335 copies and things like that. But
He's Mr. 335.
If you go through his playing career, I think there was a period where he was playing like a Valley Arts style guitar that was kind of similar to this. But yeah, they obviously, you know, they lean on Larry for sort of just, you know, advice and sort of final kind of, what do you think of this, what do you think of that? The guitars themselves are absolutely made by Sire. They have their own factory in Indonesia, and they make jolly good guitars.
I've been there, and it's a very nice factory.
Yes.
They use lasers to make sure that the necks are absolutely perfectly straight before they fret them.
Wow.
Which is really fun to watch.
No, this is a cool rig. I kind of feel like the under £500 challenges are absolutely where I would have to put a rig together that I think I could do for a video like this, but I wouldn't necessarily want to be like, oh yeah, that's my gigging rig. I think
we lucked out, didn't we?
This is zero problem. I don't think I would feel in any way sort of ill-prepared if I turned up to do a gig with this sort of stuff. The most ill-prepared things would just be these. That would be
well, should we shred?
I think we could do something a little more rocky, couldn't we?
I might need to tune up slightly.